Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the presentation, Identifying Bull and Bear Traps with Cumulative Delta Volume Analysis. Can everyone see my screen, and can everyone hear me okay? If you'll just type a yes in the comment box, I would appreciate it. Okay, now before we get started this morning, I do want everyone to take just a moment to read over the Nadex risk disclaimer. Basically, anytime you are trading, even with binary options, there is risk involved, and you should never trade with money that you cannot afford to lose. Now, for those of you that do not know me, my name is Gail Mercer. I'm the founder of Traders Help Desk, and I'm also the author of New Trader's Guide to Trading Nadex Binary Options and Spreads, Trading Nadex Binary Options Using Currencies, as well as Trading Nadex Binary Options Keeping It Simple Strategies. I have over 15 years of trading experience. I actually started out with a company that programmed indicators for trading platforms. Once I saw the price bar, I immediately fell in love, and I've been trading ever since. I do specialize in price action, volume analysis, and divergence because I believe they are leading indicators when you know how to use them correctly. I'm also a frequent contributor for Stocks and Commodities, Traders World, and Top Shelf Magazine. I've also been at Traders Expo, Traders World Online Expo, and the Wyckoff Volume Conference. Now, what are traps? I mean, that's the topic for today's presentation. And basically, a trap will either be a bull trap or a bear trap. A bull trap is when sellers entice bulls into a move only to reverse it and take it down. A bear trap is when buyers entice the bears into the market only to reverse it and take it up. They typically will always happen at highs and lows. If they happen on a high, it's typically a bull trap. If it happens on a low, it will be a bear trap. Now, this is a bear trap on the USD JPY. And as you can see in the chart, and this is your one identification that a trap is going to happen. You make a low, okay? When you make that low, just snap a horizontal line on it. If it comes back to that low and it penetrates it like it did here, but then it forms a reversal bar to the upside, more than likely you have a trap, okay? Because this happened on the lows, this is known as a bear trap. The true intention was to take the market up, not down. You also see all of the buying volume in here, okay? They were not selling the low, okay? They were actually buying it. Does everybody understand that? And the only way you can really see this is if you're analyzing the volume. That is the only way to see it, okay? Just because you had a candlestick that closed up does not mean they were actually buying it, okay? You really have to look at the volume and see what they were doing. Now, a bull trap is just the opposite. It's going to happen at the highs, and you can see they made a high here. Again, snap a horizontal line. They come back to the high here, and then a bearish bar forms. If you have seen my candlestick presentation, I've done quite a few of them for Nadex. This is a 3-bar pivot, okay? Bar 1, bar 2, bar 3, okay? This is also why I tell you to learn to read your candlesticks, okay? This 3-bar reversal signals that this market is probably going to go down. Do you see in the volume? Do you see how much selling was going on? Even though they made a high, they were selling the high, okay? That means their intention is not to take it up, but quite the opposite. They're going to take it down. What they're trying to do is entice more buyers right here, so then they can just take it down. Any questions on the bull chat? Now, if you're trading bull and bear traps, a really great combination is the out of the money binaries, okay? You always wait for the test, okay? Then you need to look to see if they're buying the low or they're selling the high, okay? Typically, divergence patterns will appear when this occurs, okay? That's what you're looking for. Then you can go 1 to 2 strikes out. Whether you go 1 or 2 strikes is really kind of dependent on the currency, on how much time is left in your binary, and also what time of the day it is. And the reason I say that is normally Asia is going to move slower than the US session, okay? It's going to move slower than the London session, but London is going to move faster than Asia, but slower than the US session. So if you're going out 2 strikes, you want to make sure you have enough movement there, and you also need to know what your strike widths are. For example, the USDJPY is 4 pip strike on a 2-hour binary, whereas the British pound dollar is a 10 pip strike, okay? So if you're going out 2 strikes, that means you're going to have at least a 20 pip move. Will the currency move 20 pips in the time that you're trading it, okay? Now, this is one that was on the British pound dollar, and it took a while to develop this one. Do y'all see how it came back and it tested it here? And then there's your bullish bar. Tested again here. It was a bullish bar. Then they came back right here, okay? And they were not even able to push it down to the previous low. Do you see that? At that time, your risk was $26.50, okay? And when it expired at 8 a.m., it expired right here, and you actually made the full payout, okay? Does everybody see that? Now, could you have taken this entry? Could you have taken this entry? Sure. I mean, this was multiple trade opportunities just in one trap. Do y'all see that? And sometimes they do. They'll give you multiple entrances for these traps. Now, we did have one this morning also. This was on the Aussie dollar, okay? And again, the criteria was pretty easy. We had a low here, okay? It came back and it tested it right here, okay? And do you see how it formed this bullish bar? Now, this is a different type of divergence, okay? This is hidden divergence within the volume, which is why I wanted to show it, okay? They were making higher lows in price, but they were making lower lows in the cumulative delta. You can also see that in the directional. What does that mean? Well, think about this logically, okay? If more sellers rushed in to that bar, okay, why did it not go lower? This is where the sellers are not being rewarded for the effort that they're putting in to price. Do y'all understand that? And what happens when we do not get rewarded? we typically give up, right? And that's exactly what happened here. They gave up. Does everybody understand that? Okay. Well, my contact information is to visit my website. You can go to www.tradershelpdesk.com, or you can email me at gm@tradershelpdesk.com as well. Do y'all have any questions? Typically, when you're beginning to do this, it will actually seem complicated, but the more that you do it, the easier that it gets. So do we have any questions? If we don't have any questions, then how do you determine when it's a true high or low? That's actually a good question. So let me move this chart back over here. All right. Do you see how this is making a high right now, Tony? The easiest thing, if you're on the live edge, is you just snap a line right there on that high. Now, there's two things that will make this a high, okay? If the next bar is a bearish bar, meaning that it comes down, then more than likely this is going to be your high. Typically, you're always going to have a 3-bar reversal, okay? For example, this is a 3-bar reversal right here, okay? You have a bearish bar followed by a bar that is lower than this. That makes it a 3-bar reversal, and it also makes it a true high. The volume is in the Nadex platform. No, it is not. The volume in the Nadex platform is not for the underlying. It is for the binary, Daniel. You need to use a charting platform that allows you to plot the volume on the underlying. And not all volume is the same, okay? Your standard volume indicator, let me see if I can find one here. This is your standard volume indicator on most platforms, and that does not give you the depth of information that you need to see if they're selling the highs or the lows. Multi-charts is one of the few platforms that actually will provide cumulative delta functions. And it's for that reason that I developed the directional volume indicator. Just gives you another layer. If you don't want to see the candlesticks, the same information is actually plotted in the directional volume. I'm 4 months into trading. When should I begin to start feeling more comfortable trading with my decisions? That's a really good question, Robert. Are you doing a trading journal? Do you log all of your trades as you're doing them with snapshots and all to see what it is that, okay, if I had a losing trade, you know, what can I do better, or did it just not work in my favor? Okay, you're not currently doing that. That would be your first step, okay? What type of business have you done before, Robert? And the only reason I'm asking is so I can kind of correlate it for you. IT, okay. Well, when you're doing IT, especially if you're having to troubleshoot, what do? You keep a sort of like a log of, okay, I did this and it didn't work, so now I'm going to try this, see if it works. And you keep a log of everything that you do so you know what works and what doesn't work. Well, if you're not keeping that in trading, um, you're not really going to feel comfortable, okay? You're not going to feel like, oh, hey, I know what I'm doing. Because, are you actually performing the steps needed in your trading plan? Well, you don't really know because you're not keeping track. It's sort of like sales, how well would McDonald's do if they didn't keep track of their sales, if they just said, oh, well, today we're just going to throw 2 people out there and we'll see how they do. Same thing applies to trading. If you're not tracking what you're doing, if you're not trading your trading plan, it's going to be very hard for you to ever become comfortable in your trading. Is there a preferred time frame you look for at highs and lows so you do not get faked out? Fake outs will occur, there's no preferred time. It's whenever the market does it. I don't look at the openings. I don't look at the closings. It's just when it makes a high, I start studying what are they really doing. Here's a great example, Tony. Okay. They just took out this high right here. Okay. What's the key to it? There's no bearish bar. I don't need to pay attention to it right now. You're welcome. Any other questions this morning, guys? I do believe, especially if you're new, you need a trading plan. You need to keep snapshots on entry. You need to keep snapshots on exit. And you need to keep track of, okay, what did you do right? And what can you improve on? To me, that's the key to successful trading. Okay, if there's no other questions, I do appreciate you all joining me this morning. I hope you enjoy the presentation. And I'll see you at the next presentation. Y'all have a wonderful day.